guys doing today? My name is Xavier, and today we'll be discussing prompt 2 over the discrimination of the LGBT community. Today we'll explore why this form of discrimination still exists and how it differs from other forms of discrimination in our society today. Discrimination against the LGBT community is not a new phenomenon in the United States. It has long histories that go back onto the colonial era, where laws were enacted to criminalize homosexuality. Even though significant progress has been made in the recent years, discrimination still exists in many forms. According to the report by the National Transgender Discrimination Survey, almost 90% of transgender individuals reported experiencing harassment, mistreatment, and discrimination on the job, while 19% have reported being denied for housing and evicted because of their gender identity. Furthermore, hate crimes against the LGBT community continue to be a major problem in the United States. Some similarities and differences maybe discrimination against the LGBT community shares some similarities with other forms of discrimination, such as racism and sexism. All these forms of discrimination are based on the belief that one group is superior than the other. In that case, LGBT community is often based on the belief that being straight is more superior than being gay or transgender. However, there are also unique differences between the discrimination against the LGBT community and forms of discrimination. For instance, unlike other minority groups, the LGBT community has faced social, legal, and political exclusions. However, the LGBTQ community often face discriminations from their families and peers. This rejection can lead to increased rates of mental health issues, substance abuse, and suicide. Discrimination against the LGBT community is also compounded by the fact that they often face multiple forms of discrimination. For example, a transgender woman of color may face discrimination based off the gender identity, race, and her status. So why do discrimination against the LGBT community still continue today? There are several reasons, including religious beliefs, lack of understanding or educating about the LGBT community, and fear of change. Some people also believe that the LGBT community individuals are threatened to traditional family values, and which fuels discrimination. This is evident by the debate over the same-sex marriage, where opponents argue that it threatens us insanity or traditional marriage. Other reasons for continued discrimination against the LGBT community is a lack of legal protections. Unlike other groups, such as women and racial minorities, the LGBT community does not have explicit federal protection against discrimination, such as employment, housing, and public accommodations. This means that the LGBT community individuals can be fired, evicted, and denied service simply because how they represent themselves sexually, or no, not sexually, but identify themselves. What can we do to combat these discriminations against the LGBT community? We must first understand the root causes of this discrimination. We can educate ourselves and others about the LGBT community and work to promote equality in all areas of this society today. Additionally, we can support organizations and advocate the LGBT rights and ally ourselves with the LGBT community. One way to achieve legal protection for the LGBT community is through passing comprehensive anti-discrimination laws at the federal level. The Equality Act, which is currently pending in Congress, would provide explicit protections against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in employment, housing, and public accommodations. Passage of this bill would be a significant step forward in ensuring equal rights and protections to the LGBT community. With that being said, discrimination against the LGBT community is still in our society today, and it is important to recognize and address the discrimination to create more and an equal society for all of us. We must work to promote education and understanding about the LGBT community and advocate for legal protections, and also ally ourselves with the LGBT community. And that's all I have.